Hi everyone, in this video we will see about how colon operator is used for indexing a variable. Operator will just type L space colon. So two purposes are given here, right? I'm not going to tell about the first one. I'm going to tell about the second one alone. That's what we are going to see in this video. The colon notation can be used to pick out selected rows, columns and elements of vectors, matrices and arrays. A colon is all the elements of A regarded as a single column. So we will see an example so that it will make more sense. Okay, you can read it out later on your own. I will just demonstrate how it could be used. All right. So I'm going to create a variable. It's a matrix whose first row contains elements 1, 2 and 3. And then the second row contains elements 4, 5, 6 correspondingly. Okay. So if I give enter, you can see the elements of this particular matrix. Now, if I want to pick only the elements which are there in the first row of this matrix, what I can do is I can give A, okay, then this bracket, and then the index what I am giving now usually indicates the row of the matrix. So I am going to just give 1 because I am interested in picking out only the elements that are there in the first row of this matrix, and then comma. What I can do is I can actually do two things. I will show what are they. First one is I can give 1 colon 3. Actually this reads out as 1 2 3. Okay, this is what we have seen in the previous video, right? Because 1 colon 3 is nothing but 1 2 3. Okay, if I give this, what does it see? What does it do? It picks out all the elements that are there in the first row of this matrix, because this first index is the row index, second index is the column index. So if I give 1 colon 3, it actually takes the column elements 1 2 3. That means A1 comma 1, A1 comma 2, A1 comma 3. That's what we are seeing here. All right. Another way of doing the same thing is I can give A1 comma. You don't need to use 1 colon 3, just give colon. And if I give enter, see the same result is obtained. That's what is given in this statement. You can read this out later. All right. So what does it do? It basically takes all the column indices. Okay. If I use it in a different way, let's see, instead of using it in the position of column, if I give it for the row, that is, instead of giving 1 comma colon, if I give colon comma 1, what are you expecting? It should give 1 and 4, right? Why? Because now how many rows are there? That there are totally 2 rows in this, right? Row number 1 and row number 2. So it has taken all rows into consideration and followed by the column number. So the rows are 1 and 2. The column is just 1, which is represented by this second index here. So it picks out 1 and 4 out of our matrix A. All right. So this must be clear. And then if I give A colon comma colon, what are you expecting? It should give the entire A matrix. Let's see whether it's doing it or not. All right. See, it is giving, right? That must be fine. And then we will see a little more about this. Comma. See, I am changing the bracket here. You need to be aware of that. See, what should it give? This colon now indicates all rows of A. So there are only 2 rows. So 1 and 2 is what this colon takes. And if I give these indices, it is just taking column number 1 and column number 3. So if you go back to our A matrix, otherwise I will type it here right now so that it's easy to see it parallelly, right? This was your actual A. Now what does this particular command do? It took all the row indices into account, and then followed by that it's just taking the columns which are 1 and 3. See here, this is column number 1 and this is column number 3. So it did not take 2 because we are not giving it here. So it picked out all the rows and only the column numbers 1 and 3, and it displayed the elements of that. All right. So this must be clear. And then if I give this command, let us see what happens. I am using something called end here. What did it do? It just took the end number of the column. See here, there are 3 columns, 1 2 and then 3, right? What is the n column? N column is 3. So this n actually takes the index number 3 here, and this colon has taken into account the rows which are 1 and 2. Okay, so we need to read it out as a 1 comma 2 comma 3, right? So a 1 comma 3 will be the first one, which is 3, and then a 1 comma sorry, a 2 comma 3 will be the second one, which is 6. All right, and then if I give this, let's see what happens. End minus 1. What should it give? It should be giving 2 and 5. Why? Because now this colon takes the row numbers 1 and 2, and n minus 1 means end. Here end is 3 because 3 is the maximum number of column. Okay, column index minus 1 will be 2. So this must be giving this 2 comma 5. Let's say whether that happens or not. Right, it's giving 2 and 5. All right, why? Because I am just repeating for clarification. Right, this colon takes all the indexes of the row which are 1 and 2, and then n minus 1 is n index. The maximum number of column index here is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So this is now 1 comma 2 and then 2 comma 2. All right, so that's what it is given here. And finally we will see one more use of this colon operator. All comma 2 comma end. What it give? It gives 2 to n means, see, this is 2. So 2 to end is 3, right? So it takes the index 2 to 3 for columns, and then for rows it takes all indices, because this column takes all indices into account, right? So here it will be 1 and 2, here it is 2 and 3. So it picks out these 4 elements, because it is going to be 1 comma 2 here and then 2 comma 3. So it will be 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, right? 2 comma 2 and 2 comma 3. All right, is this clear? So colon operator, what does it do? It actually does two things. First one is this one. This we have already seen when we have seen how to create a row vector and column vector, right? The purpose in terms of incrementation. The second one is this. It picks out all indices appropriately. It can be column or it can be corresponding to a row. All right, thank you.